Hello and welcome to The Trade. Before we get into the technicals, a quick look at what traders are watching. And US-Iran peace negotiations remain stalled. US President Trump apparently unhappy with the latest proposal from Tehran, which would set aside discussion of its nuclear program until the conflict is concluded and passage through the Strait of Hormuz is resolved. Posting on social media, President Trump said Iran has just informed us that they are, quote, in a state of collapse. They want us to open the Hormuz Strait as soon as possible as they try to figure out their leadership situation. And he went on to say, which I believe they will be able to do. Meanwhile, the UAE, one of OPEC's biggest producers, is quitting oil exporting group OPEC, weakening its control over global oil supplies and further widening a rift between the UAE and Saudi Arabia, which is the dominant member of OPEC+. The move expected to allow the UAE to increase output once exports via the Gulf resume, as it would no longer be governed by OPEC quotas. US Treasury yields rose with higher oil prices as mounting doubts over a near-term resolution to the US-Israeli war remain. The yield on the US 10-year note rising to 4.36, the 2-year at 3.85. Australian 3-year government bond yields rising to 4.8, the 10-year at 5.1. And having a quick look at where the Aussie dollar is trading this morning ahead of the key CPI data, 71.8 US cents. Well, for more on market technicals and which stocks may be looking oversold, I spoke to Violeta Todorova from Leverage Shares.
After the initial rally from the March lows, we've noticed that the XJO is forming a lower high, which tells us that momentum is not as strong, and this lower high is showing that there is selling pressure building on the market, and I believe that has a lot to do with the unfolding energy crisis over the past 2 months since the war in Iran began. So looking at the charts, the RSI is firmly in neutral territory, so I think the high in April at around 9,000 points is going to act as a resistance in the near term, and I believe there is a chance of further weakness in the coming weeks. So investors should be watching a minor support of 8,600 points, which in my view is going to be broken downwards, given that the relative strength index indicator didn't unwind the overbought territory yet. So I think there is a very good chance of the market declining to around 8,500 points. But ultimately, if there is no resolution at the Strait of Hormuz, if there is no peace deal reached and the conflict extends further, investors should brace for further decline to the key support for the XJO of around 8,262 points. So overall, I think the market is going to move sideways in the next couple of months, and that's the best case scenario I see at that point. So we will be looking to buy the dip, accumulate on weakness.
All right, well, let's have a look at some of those that you might be buying the dip or looking at, and you're sort of looking very closely at a lot of these tech players. What do you like about WiseTech, Violeta?
Yes, WiseTech I like for a couple of reasons. The stock experienced a very serious decline over the past 8 months, and it recently retraced to its previous key support of around $35, which in my view, it has a very good potential of holding in the short term. While I'm very encouraged, though, is the formation of a bullish divergence between the price and the relative strength index, which highlights the possibility that the stock is at a turning point. So the key level for investors is the minor resistance of $47, which in my view is going to be broken in the next couple of months, which gives us the first upside target of around $53, and over the medium term at around $68. So any weakness from here, I would use it as a buying opportunity, and investors know it takes a little bit of time for bottoms to form, but with a little bit of patience, I think we investors are going to be rewarded buying WiseTech.
Are they going to be rewarded if they look at zero, Violeta?
Yes, Juliet, that's another one on my radar. It's actually looking very good. We have a similar setup. We've seen zero declining substantially from its record highs, and recent price action retraced to a previous key support level of $63, which in my view, it has a very good potential of holding. Actually, the recent low was slightly above the previous key support, which means that buying is emerging. Also, we have bullish divergence between the price and the RSI, which is actually the most encouraging development on the chart. So I think the 67, 68 support is going to hold, which was recently formed. And once we get to see a resistance of around 89.50 broken on the upside, that will be the ultimate confirmation that zero has bottomed, leaving us with initial upside price target of $112, followed by 125 over the medium term. But long term, zero is looking really, really good.
Life 360, Violeta, down about 38%, nearly 40% year to date. Do you think that's reached a bottom, or what are the technicals showing you?
Yes, Life 360 is also looking very similar to zero and WiseTech. The recent low that we've seen marked in March, it has actually retraced very close to a key support level of $18. So I think that level is going to hold. We are also observing the same similar bullish divergence between the price and the RSI, suggesting that the stock is at a turning point. So once resistance at $22.74 gets broken on the upside, I'm expecting to see a rally to around $34. So very, very encouraging setup for Life 360.
And another stock on your radar, Violeta, REA Group. What do you like about what it's showing you?
Yes, REA is the last in the pack, but the chart is also very similar. We've seen massive decline over the past 6 months, retracement close to key support of 140. We are observing similar bullish divergence between the price and the RSI, suggesting that the stock has approached the turning point. So I think the short-term support of $147 is going to hold. And once resistance of $174 gets broken on the upside, that will be a confirmation that we have a bottom in place, giving us an upside price target of $200 in the near term, followed by $220 over the medium term. So any short-term weakness from here, while the price is within the trading range, provides investors with great buying opportunity, in my view.
Violeta Todorova there from Leverage Shares. That does it for this edition of The Trade. Be sure to join us next time.